Yeah.
Awesome.
Uh,
Thanks everyone for joining us today. We are here today for our ILL committee meeting of the Spark User Group Committee, and we are going to go ahead and share just a quick couple updates. I'll say hello. And then Elizabeth is going to walk us through some of the options for this ILL integration that we have, which involves a data exchange protocol so that you can do things in Share It and not have to redo them in Evergreen. So it saves a ton of time. The libraries that we have that are using it are really happy with it, and she does have some exciting news to share about its functionality. So I will let her do that. Um, but yeah, that's what we're here for today.
Thanks. I do want to thank Tessa Mitchell. She was the ILL committee chair for quite a while, a few years. So she had to step down. So we do have an interlibrary loan position open. If you are interested in interlibrary loan or just interested in getting more involved in the user group, this is an opportunity. You don't have to know a lot about interlibrary loan to run the committee. You just have to be able to plan and schedule meetings and like email. So not too hard. And you'll probably learn a lot about interlibrary loan in the process. So please feel free to reach out if you are interested in serving in that role. We're also looking for a reports chair. So same situation, if you are interested in reports or learning more about reports, please let us know and we can get you in that position. All right. So today we're going to talk about INSIP, which is, I always forget what it stands for, but it is a protocol. And what it does is it connects our instance of Evergreen and the statewide interlibrary loan system, as some folks call it Share It, some folks call it Access PA, depending on uh, where you've worked at a library and what and such. Yes. Oh, NISO Circulation Interchange Protocol is technically what it's called. So, uh, I will always call it INSIP though. So again, it connects Share It and Evergreen. And what I thought we could do is walk through a demo, highlighting the features. A lot of folks have a variety of different ways that they do ILL in Evergreen. And we really feel that this is probably the best way to do it. It alleviates a lot of workflow and a lot of steps. So let me get my screens all set up. And can never find the button to stop sharing when you need to. All right, so let's get started. So you should be seeing my screen now, and you should be seeing the Share It interface at the moment. If someone could confirm that for me, I make sure that you're seeing the right thing. The quick message in the chat would be good. Or a thumbs up. Okay, thank you so much. So, all right, so in with the protocol, all you have to do is kind of do your normal workflow and Share It. You will see that all of your statuses and things are the same. Um, when you have requests, so we'll go from the lending side first. That one seems to be the easier one to demo first. What you'll see is now items that are requested via Share It will now appear on your pull list. You'll see and know that there are requests for Access PA by seeing here in the pickup library column on your pull list that it needs to go to Access PA. Staff can either give those requests directly to the Interlibrary Loan Department, or if they don't notice that it says Access PA, no harm. They can, easily check in the item like they normally do, when pulling items from the pull list, and you'll see that the transit slip will appear and state that this item has a destination of access PA and give you all of the information about it, that it's for a request, and it'll give you the request ID. So it's en route to the library or to access PA at this point. In Access PA, you get the items from your staff, and you will need to go, pardon me, I have the wrong window open. You need to go to your request manager like you normally do, and you'll see that you'll have under your actions a pending request. You'll see that the title in question is here. It's this really creepy face painting book. I used to work in the children's department, and I remember this book very vividly, and it's kind of creepy, so I thought it'd be funny to pick. So you'll click on the title, and you'll see all of the same screen options that you previously had. You can mark it as will supply and in process, or if you're ready to ship it now, you can mark it as shipped. Something new that I'm very excited to share is for those libraries that request like extended due dates. So say you have a request from a library who needs the books a little bit longer for like a book club, or just need them for a little bit longer than the normal loan period. You can now set the due date with the due date picker. It will automatically populate a due date for you. But if you say you need a little bit extra time, say they need it until May 22nd, you can now supply that date and it will stick, and it will send that info to Evergreen to give it that due date, and it will make it in the request as well here and share it. Previously, what it did was it let you pick a date, but then it didn't actually set it, but now it does. So we're very happy. That actually got started working this morning. So if you are a current user of InZip, you can now start using that for your book clubs. No longer do you have to have them ask for renewals or initiate the renewal on your own. You can now set the due date and you're good to go. So once you have and confirmed all of the information, you can make sure you mark it shipped, and you're going to hit submit. Yes, Mary, I was very excited today when I saw it started working. I was very excited for you all. So you'll see here in the lender request that the item has been shipped, and that's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. If you look in Evergreen for that item, you'll see that it's been checked out, and that if you look at the circ history list or the recent checkouts, which I won't use just so we don't reveal anything, you'll see that it has been checked out to the library that is borrowing it. All of the libraries that are participants in Share It are preloaded into Evergreen. You don't ever have to worry about adding anyone. We do that for you, and we update their accounts for them. So it gets checked out automatically, and that's all you have to do. You find the item on your pull list, you grab it, you mark it as shipped, and you're done. No more extra steps. So lending is really easy. Any questions on the lending process or the exciting new manual due date option? Give everybody a minute. The pull list in Evergreen, I think it is under circulation pull list for Holt's request. You can still use the pull list that's in Share It if you'd like, but we want to make sure everyone is aware that it will appear in the Evergreen pull list as well. So if your current workflow is only ILL staff get those requests, you'll want to make sure that you alert your circulation department about this minor change in their workflow. So Dana is asking, are you running into any problems with library accounts having fines due to books not being returned? Will it stop the account from being able to check out other books? No, it won't actually. The accounts for those libraries are in their own little library, which is called Access PA. Just like every library in Evergreen or in Spark has their own library, those accounts do as well. And we don't have any blocking limits like we do with patrons. So unfortunately, they could have a lot of fines, but it won't prevent them from being able to check things out. So that shouldn't be a problem. Crystal is also very excited about the due date. So great. Will Evergreen check out the book on the requested due date from Access PA? Yes. So you'll see, pardon me, you'll see that today was the day that the status was changed, and it gives a default 42 days and no fines. And if we go back, pardon me, extra, you will see that it is checked out. And if I should be able to add the due date column. I thought we could. Am I imagining it?
Not in item status, I don't think, Elizabeth.
Oh, all right. It says due date. Yeah, right here. Due
Oh,
date. Sorry.
oh,
I just totally missed it. I already had it selected, and it does have the due date that I requested, which was May 22nd. Does that help, Holly? Okay, great. Any other questions about lending to another library? Give everybody a minute to type. All right, I don't see anything in the chat, but feel free. Oh, sorry. Mary, for the circulation pull list, does this include both share it request and regular holds at circ? Yes, it does, Mary. It'll have every request of items that your library is supplying. Yes, there is a way to distinguish. Let me get the pull list. I have a request in for my other test library. You'll see in the pickup column, it indicates where the book is going. And so in this instance, this Galaxy Watercolor title is being picked up at Access PA, and that's your visual indicator that this is going to the ILL department. And then the others are participants in that same library system.
and then when you, Elizabeth showed the transit pop-up, but it will appear like for those of you who are in systems or in groups where you share items, it'll appear as a transit. So it'll say, please route this item to, and then the library name will be Access PA. And it will have the library information on that Evergreen transit slip. So then it can get routed to the ILL department and they can handle it from there.
What happens if you don't use the list that way? Once, say you're using the share it list and you grab the titles from that list and mark them as shipped, they will then disappear off the pull list. It doesn't impact the share it list at all. Anything you do in Evergreen does not impact share it. It's only a one-way communication. It's share it to Evergreen. So anything you do in Evergreen to those items doesn't really do anything in Share It. Great. All right. So let me move on to requesting an item. And you can do that pretty easily. I had a test item and now I think I closed that tab by accident. So one moment. I can request an item from another library. Okay, so I have a title, and I like to do it by ISBN, but you can do titles as well. Just like you would normally look for the item, you're going to start with that. I'm going to put in my ISBN that I'm looking for, but you can do any kind of search. You can do a title search, you can do an author search. However, you can use the advanced settings, all of that. Um, I'm going to narrow it down to the Spark libraries, just so I get the right one. So say that's my title, that's the one I'm requesting. You'll see that I'm going to request it from the Holidaysburg Library. You will just put in request this item. I need to do a little finagling on my end to make it sure I can work both sides of it. So in this case, what you're going to do is you're going to put in the patron's barcode. And this is really particular. You need to have the barcode of the patron who is requesting the item. They have to have a barcode. Um, Otherwise, the system doesn't know who to send the item to. So fairly important. It does have options to search for name and such. I do not recommend that because there might be multiple people with the same name, and there's not really an indicator of that you have the correct patron. So like it doesn't have those extra fields like we do with the home library and such. So always best to use the barcode. And so once you get your patron, you're going to select them with the little icon here. And then it builds our lender list just like it does normally if you're using it without the inset. You'll see that it pre-populates all of the information for me, which is really handy. I don't have to type any of that in anymore. It even puts in my patron information automatically. The only thing you might have to, if you do the multi-copy, you will have to tell it how many copies you need. And sometimes if a patron doesn't have an email address on file to pull in, you will need to put something in that field. So, but it isn't used for anything. It just is used for the software. You will not need to narrow down your lender list. I do for the demo purposes, but you would just leave all of those selections in there. And so once you've confirmed all of the information is correct, you're going to hit submit. And what it's going to do is it's going to look into Evergreen or into Share It and find a copy, just like it does now. So my status is pending. I'm good to go. And now I just wait. And I need to wait until the lending library has marked it shipped. So I'm going to do that on another screen so that you don't have to see me fumbling through Share It. 1 second. So we just wait until the item arrives. Okay, so now we get our mail and our item has arrived. And you will see that it will now be as a borrower under my borrower request menu for items that were shipped. So here is the book I requested, the watercolor Bible. and you'll see the screen here. It'll have all of my information about the book and such. And then my contact patron info down here. As a borrower, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, follow the regular workflow, mark it as received. And the only thing that you do need to change is the barcode. If it puts in the request number, like ILL 470, you're fine. You can use that as the barcode for the item. But most libraries have pre-printed barcodes that they use for their interlibrary loan items. And so you'll want to use the barcode that you're going to affix to the item temporarily. So either you buy a sheet, or you can print them out ahead of time, or you can print them on the fly using the request number as part of it. Everybody does it slightly differently, but the main thing is that the barcode needs to be a unique barcode that is not currently in use in Evergreen. You can't use this barcode here because in this instance, I'm borrowing from another Spark library. And so that barcode already exists in Spark, which is what we're doing. We're bringing it into Spark. So it needs to be unique. So in this instance, I'm going to use a made-up barcode. If you have multiple locations, you could be able to select their pickup location. But for the most part, if a patron has a default pickup location in their patron record, that's the library that they're going to get it picked up at. So all that being said, you're going to mark it received and you're going to give it a new barcode. And then I'm going to mark it as submit to save that. And you'll see that it has been received. And down here with the history information, it'll give you all of the info about your request and all the steps it's taken. If you ever see where it says INSIP error, usually it gives you some plain language information about it. So two main ones that we see are the barcode is already in use, so you'll want to re-receive the item with a new unique barcode. And the other one is if the patron's account has expired between the time that they've requested the item and when it arrived. Sometimes that happens. So you just need to update their account so they're no longer expired and re-receive the item. By receiving the item, what happens is the item is added to the catalog. A record is created for that item that you're bringing in for your patron. A item is added to that record, and a hold is placed all automatically for the patron who requested it. So using that new barcode that I added to the item, I'm going to do an item status, and you'll see that display view. It's going to say the circ and owning libraries access PA, the title will display. We're on the test server, so it's behaving a little oddly because we're talking test server to test server, but the title will be in there and the holds will be there listed. So all you have to do is once you've marked it as received in ShareIt, you can bring it up to your circulation desk or check it in at your regular ILL desk. And what's going to happen is it's going to check in. And this is going to my test patron who has a different library as their pickup library. So it's going to tell me where it's going for that hold pickup. And I would, this works well if you're in a system. So, or otherwise it would just give you the regular holds slip and notification and say, put it on the hold shelf. So now it's notified the patron once it's at its pickup destination. It sends them the text that their hold is ready for pickup. It sends the email that their hold is ready for pickup. So if you folks normally have to call those people, you don't have to do that anymore. Evergreen does it for you. And then you just wait till the patron arrives to pick up the item. We're going to check it out to my patron. Oh, maybe not. Why doesn't it want to check out? There we go. So now I'm going to check out my item using the barcode I added to it. And it checked out for my default loan period. That'll be due on the 25th. And they're done. I just wait for them to bring it back. And when they bring it back, I treat it like a regular item. I check it in Evergreen. And again, it'll let me know that it has to go back to Access PA. And let me just finish this one last step and then I'll answer questions. Um, so you see that it's giving that visual reminder indicator to staff that this is a interlibrary loan item. So you will want to give it to your staff and they will update that item to being, oh, sorry, back in my request manager. They're going to treat it like they normally do. They are going to go to their received. And they're going to mark it as returned when they're ready to ship it back. And once I mark it as returned, Evergreen will delete the brief bib and the item. So you don't have to do that deletion either. Okay. Mary Porter asked, do you have to have phone function activated for your library? I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that. The service will automatically email if you have an email address on file in their account, and it will automatically notify them via text if they have that functionality set up in their account. Otherwise, it will print out the phone number to contact them at on the hold slip. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I wish you could call them. I think that would be really cool. But that service is not.
Automated telephony is a thing. Like I think Unique Library Services has it as a service, and we can do, set that up for people if there are options. I don't think we have anybody who's doing it right now.
Actually,
It's
Lackawanna does their hold notifications over the phone via Unique Management.
okay, yep. Yeah, so in their case, they have that contract with Unique, and then we have it set up so that they get the data for that to happen.
Okay, and then Roan asked, what if the patron does not have email or text? Then you will have to call them, unfortunately. Sorry. Dina, when you search for the title and share it, you narrow down to Spark Libraries. Is that something you also need to do? No, you will not need to do that. I only did that so I could work both sides of the lending and borrowing requesting. So you would do a regular search, put in a request like you normally do, and it will pick a provider at its discretion. What if, okay, oh, I think I answered the second part of the question. You don't need to use only Spark, only I did. So, and then Richard asked if INSIP error messages are ignored, does the process give you additional warnings? I worry about folks glossing over and ILLs being lost. Is the message bolded in red? No, it is not bolded in red. Let me see if I can find an instance where we had issues. We were doing some testing recently. Oh, there. 1 second.
I will say though that it's as someone who has done the share it process before, that the way the errors show up is the same way that a non-NSIP error would show up. And so,
So yeah, it shows up here just like that.
yeah. So typically ILL staff are looking at that and making sure that things are moving through the process already. And so it's this using the interchange just means that you don't have to repeat those things in Evergreen. We haven't had um I mean we've had our hiccups with the integration, but I don't think that people not understanding the errors has been a big hurdle for folks.
You can still go through the regular process. You could still lend it. It just won't check out in Evergreen. If you try and receive it and it gets an error, it won't create the bib or the hold. So you won't know what to do with it then. So you'll definitely have to look at the history information for the request. Vicky asks, what if we don't currently use barcodes for ILL items? We would have to assign barcodes to items we request for this functionality to work. Yes, it has to have a barcode in it because it's creating the item and it needs that barcode to associate to that individual item and in the subsequent hold. Crystal asked, when the error first pops up, when you hit submit, it shows in red near the top, doesn't it? Um, let me, we have a, we have a shipped item. Hold on. Let me see. This face painting book I never received. So let me, let me try and receive it with the same barcode. That will give us an error. So it's processing the request. And it does say it in red. Thank you, Crystal. Crystal is our first tester of this service, so it does blatantly tell you that, and it does tell
A
you here. Um,
different crystal, but
oh, I'm
excellent.
sorry. Sorry, I didn't realize we had two crystals in ILL at different libraries. But it does say INZIP cannot receive the item, and then why it's a duplicate item. The item has a barcode that already exists, so that kind of gives you your indicator that you will need to uh, give it a new barcode. And so all you would have to do is go back into your request, reassign it a new barcode, and then hit receive again. Um, okay, Richard. Okay. And then Dana asks, are we still expected to print the paperwork that goes along inside the book, or is that no longer needed? That is more of a local preference. If you want to include the paperwork inside the copy, that's up to you. It's not required as part of this workflow, but some people like to still do that.
Since you do have to assign another barcode to it, a lot of our libraries don't print the share it thing, but they do like have a book strap that they then affix the barcode to, wrap that around the cover, tape it, so that because you're not going to attach your barcode sticker to the item, so libraries will usually attach that to something that they either put in the book or tape around the front cover. So there is typically some paper generated. Many of our libraries that have gone to NSIP used to have like a paper filing system to see how requests were moving through the process, and most of them uh, moved on from that at the point when they started using NSIP because you kind of need less tracking on where it is because it's moving through Evergreen and share it in this at the same time.
Holly asked, just to clarify, whenever Green sends an automated text message based on the patron setting, will we see notification that they were contacted, or do we need to have to check each account to see if they need to be contacted manually if they have no email preference set up? On your holds pull, on your hold shelf, like the little slip of paper that prints out when the hold is checked in and kind of triggers that automation of notices. You can set up the slip to print if it has an email address on file and a text message phone number on file and the regular phone, daytime phone number. And so that'll be your visual cue that they have been notified via text or SMS. But also when you look at the page, if you need to look, you can look at the item in the patron's account. It'll say, they've been notified. We have a little spot for holds notifications and circulation notices. But you can also look here. No, not here. What am I thinking of?
In the patron account.
Oh yeah, in the patron account. Sorry. Let me get. If you go to their holds, you'll see there is an option for if they were notified. And of course, I'm probably gonna miss it because this one is not in alphabetical order. Uh, Notify by email. There's one for SMS. Notify by SMS. So I don't have a notify by email, so I will not get that email address. So there is that visual. Yeah. Mary asked, when we check out ILL items, we give the patrons instructions, pickup date, due date, cost of the ILL was not returned. If we use Spark, is there a place to add this information? Are you giving those instructions like on a little info sheet? Or are you verbally telling them that? It's on the checkout slip. Let me think about that for a minute. I've never added specific messages to, it's different from circulation slip. I've never added that level of information to a receipt template. We would have to test that and see if that's a functionality that we can add. I think by default, though, I don't think these items come in with a price. So, but we might be able to finesse the interlibrary loan receipt template to have like blank spots for you to put in a date, like manually type out a date or put in about monetary value if the item is not, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of like a
I was
form.
I'm wondering if the workstation that Mary is referring to is like a specific workstation that has a separate print template for the checkout receipts. So it's like specifically only ILLs get checked out at that workstation versus the circulation desk.
Yeah, it could
If that's
definitely
the
be done
case,
that way.
yeah, if that's
Yeah.
the case, you can use the checkout receipt only for ILLs at that workstation.
Well, it wouldn't be the
Oh, yeah.
checkout because we're not checking anything out yet, but we would be able to finagle one of the
Oh, the whole, sorry.
templates. Yeah, the template.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole
Mhm.
template.
The other thing that most people do is that when they affix that barcode, that if they're using a book strap or something, that's what has that language on it about fines, and then they often write the due date on it. But yeah, if this would be something that we work with people when we're setting this up and when we're doing training. It's like, okay, what parts of the workflow need to change, and how are we going to make sure that the patrons are still getting the same information? So it would be something that we'd be able to figure out.
Mary, what library are you at?
I believe Mary is at Bethlehem.
Okay. Thanks. We look forward to your email. So that is the workflow with INSIP. You'll notice that you aren't going into Evergreen and checking it out to a library. The connection does that for you. You don't have to delete or create bibs for the items that you're bringing in for your patrons. That's done for you. And a lot of the maintenance for those items are maintained via the connection. So A lot of libraries report that they've saved a lot of time. Our one library was debating on getting an additional part-time staff member to help with the interlibrary loan volume. But by saving a lot of these steps, they were able to just kind of manage it a lot better with the current staff load. So they found it to be very helpful. So that is in SIP. Do you folks who use it want to share any thoughts or questions, any additional questions about it? Crystal's sharing that they had a few errors at start, but once it got streamlined, it got a lot of things streamlined for them. That's great.
Crystal was our very first, one of our very first testers, and so she got to see the less than pretty side of us figuring it out. With we actually had one of the staff members at one of the staff at the vendor, not just HSLC, but one of the staff at Autographics that runs Share It, is based in Pittsburgh. So she came out and met me at Holidaysburg, and we kind of hashed it out. So we always appreciate our beta tester folks. Yes, and Indian Valley was also one of the very first ones.
Great. Well, I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll ask Natalie to stop the recording in case anybody has questions they would like to ask off recording. But otherwise, thank you all for coming.